Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining from. Happy Wednesday. I'm so excited that you are spending your Wednesday with me, especially because it's one of the very few Wednesdays we have left in 2020. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to say goodbye to 2020. It's like that friend that comes over that you're really excited to see them at first, but then after a couple hours on your couch, you're like, okay, time to go, time to get on out of here. That's how I feel about 2020. I was really excited to welcome it in, and now I'm like, off you go. We're ready for something new. So I don't know if you're like me, but I am ready for a new year. And so as part of that new year, you've heard me talk about the last couple of weeks with our various guests and with everybody who kind of comes every week. How are we setting our intentions for the new year? What are our goals? What are we hoping to accomplish? What do we want to hold accountable for ourselves? What can we help hold accountable for other people? How are we showing up? How are we coming into 2021, leaving maybe our bad habits or the things that we want to leave behind in the past and come into 2021 with a new slate? And so the people that I've been bringing on, especially this month, have really been focused on how we kind of reset, refocus, maybe rejigger things around a little bit. And that theme is continuing next week as well. That will be our last guest for 2020. Big shoes to fill, but I know that this lady can really knock it out of the park. You might already know of her. If you don't, her name is Kate Rosenau. She has an amazing brand called Work Well with Kate. I know that's a little bit of a mouthful, but Work Well with Kate. That's the name of her company. So you can go to workwellwithkate.com. She's on Instagram, etc., on LinkedIn. And it's all about how you can work more efficiently, how you can do more with less time. Sign me up for that, because I'm definitely guilty of finding myself doing busy tasks, doing things that maybe don't really move the ball forward. And sometimes refocusing and cleaning up, and where do you spend your time on, and where is it going, and how are you utilizing it? That's really helpful. So I don't know if you're like me on that, but if so, you are definitely wanting to come next week, because Kate is going to kind of get us all in order with her magic fairy wand and kind of give us some good tips and tricks and things that we can think about over the holidays as we move into the new year. And so obviously it goes without saying, I don't know which way to lean. I have a Christmas tree behind me. A very Florida looking Christmas tree, because I'm in Florida. So I'll send you all sunshine from me to you, because I know a lot of you guys are in colder states. So I'm Kelly and Jeff, and sending some warmth your way, because I am down in Florida, but I'm using this time as I'm with my family to reflect and figure out how I can work well, just like Kate's working. So really excited for next week. It'll be our last guest before 2021. Some great guests coming up in 2021. I am thank you, Kelly. I'll tell my mom you'd love it, because she decorated it with all the Florida sand shells and things. The starfish. Thank you, Jen. I was like struggling. I was like, what is that animal? Starfish. But I need your help or your input or your thoughts as we move into 2021. I know I have some great guests coming up the pipe that you're going to be really excited to meet and hear about. But as always, and I know I would say maybe once a month, I kind of put out an all call. So this is like the last all call for December. But if you have any guests that you're interested in hearing from, maybe it's somebody you don't even follow on LinkedIn. Maybe it's somebody from Instagram or another platform that you think, wow, they're giving out really great tips, or really want to hear more about the subject area that these people are talking about, let me know. I have a lot of skills, but mind reading isn't one of them. I can ask for a lot of things from Santa, so maybe mind reading will be on the list, but currently it is not a skill I have. So Shelby and I will drop a link in here, but if there's anybody that you can think of, let me know. No idea is too crazy. Let's hear it. Let's compile them, because it's our chat every Wednesday. So if there's anybody that you've seen recently that you're like, I don't know, let's try to get them on the show, or let's try to, get them to come talk with us in community. I'm all for it. Just like, let me know. And Shelby and I will try to wrangle them down. But if you have any ideas, definitely let me know. So as part of the whole 2021, the mindset, the things that we want to do moving forward, because obviously, I love Wednesdays and I love coming here and being with you on Wednesdays, I am going to hold myself accountable to you. So I am giving you a hall pass. I should have printed one out, a hall pass to bully me. Nicely bully me, like lovingly bully. If there's a loving bully, that's what I want. Lovingly bully me and hold me accountable. I have someone who's busy writing a book. Oh, Jeff, great. Love it. Boom, they're in. Lovingly hold me accountable to a 2021 goal that I've been talking about, Shelby and I have been talking about. But I would love your input because you're here every week. So you know me well and I know you well, and I love your thoughts on this. 2 things that I want to get launched in January, which I know I'm even just saying the word January, I like have hives as I'm saying it. Cause I'm like, well, I can't do this in January, but you know what? You put it out to the universe and somehow the universe figures out a way for it to get done. 2 things. Number 1, a podcast version of this. So I've gotten a couple emails and DMs and messages from people that are like, hey, Kim, I couldn't join on Wednesday because, kids had soccer practice or I had a meeting come up or whatever. And maybe it's harder to watch the playback because, things are going on in life and it can be hard to watch the playback. But I would love to listen to this while I'm working out or while I'm going for a walk or while I'm walking the dog or whatever. And I think to myself, yeah, that probably would be helpful if you missed the live session and miss connecting with everybody, that you can kind of catch up on the tips and tricks and apps and book recommendations and everything on audio form while you're walking the dog or cleaning the dishes or doing the laundry or, wherever you listen to podcasts, in the shower. But I don't know, podcast, good idea, bad idea. And by the way, even if you think it's a bad idea and you don't want to say, oh, I don't want to tell Kim it's a bad idea because everybody else here will think, I'm a terrible person. That's fine. I want to know if it's a bad idea or any tips or tricks that you have. So if you don't want to write it here, that's fine. Message me later. Also, if just anything about podcasts, because I don't necessarily know everything about podcasts, but are there hacks, are there tips, are there tricks? Do you know someone who's like a podcast wizard that can give advice? I'm here for it. I'm ready. So let me know what you think. I don't know. I'd also have to come up with a podcast name. So if you got any great ideas for that too, that would be, I guess, I can't do Coffee with Kim if it's a podcast, right? That'd be hard. It's a work in progress. We'll put a pin in it. We'll brainstorm. Jen, okay, if you know lots of people that can turn into podcasts, or just things that you hate and things that you love. If you're like, oh, I saw this one person, they did this, it was terrible, or they did that and it was great, let me know. Caroline, thank you. Any ideas that you have? You listen to podcasts. So if you have any ideas, I am all ears over here. So that's number 1. Number 2 is every week we get such great recommendations from whoever is able to join, and obviously whoever we have kind of on with us, the featured person. We get so many great apps and books and recommendations and things to check out and websites and people to follow that I want to compile that every week and put it out as a newsletter on LinkedIn, because there are a lot. You guys know, if I point here, does it go to the chat, Shelby? Nope, this way. I don't know which way the chat is, but whichever way the chat is, there's always great recommendations going on here that I think that we should share with other people. Like, we should share out. So that's another thing that I'm putting into the universe. Again, would love your thoughts. Good idea, bad idea. Would you read it? Do you read other LinkedIn newsletters? If so, whose newsletters are you reading? Or are you like, I don't want to subscribe to any more newsletters on LinkedIn because they're boring? I don't know. Well, love your, or maybe you're like, I didn't even know LinkedIn has a newsletter, because that was me, by the way, until like a month ago. I didn't even know LinkedIn had newsletters. It was like, oh, well, apparently I've been out of the loop. So now if you've been out of the loop, this is me letting you in the loop with me. We can be like newbies in the newsletter game on LinkedIn, but that's a thing. if you didn't know. So if you subscribe to any of those, let me know which ones. If you don't, now you know. And if you do, any good like tips and tricks, I'm here for it. So let me know what you think about that. Christina, thank you. I'm like, I think this is a good idea. I don't know. Sometimes, you have good ideas, but you need other people to kind of bounce ideas off of. And you're my person. Like you are my people. So I'm like, these are my folks. I need to know what you think, but have a think on it. I know sometimes like people can't respond right away. So like absorb it. Would I listen to this in audio form? Walking the dog or doing dishes, number one. And then would I read all of like the books and apps and what work recommendations that people say? If you can't think of it now, again, put a little pin on it and message me on LinkedIn later, email me. Oh, Jen, Roundup newsletters. Yes, me too. Email me, message me, text me, all the things. But just, you can let me know what you think over the next couple of weeks. So I'm saying January, because again, I need you to kind of like bully me a little bit and like hold me accountable. And if January comes and you don't see anything, send me a message being like, you said January, where is it? It's kind of like going to the gym. I need you to make me go to the gym. I would like to say, go to the gym. You get what I'm saying? We're good with that. We're good there. As I said before, thanks to my Florida looking Christmas tree here, I've been in Florida for the last couple of weeks and I have gotten a chance I read lots of books, as you know, and sometimes the books really resonate and I feel the need to share them out. Sometimes the books are just good, but I don't feel the need to share them out. And sometimes the books are just not that great. So I definitely kind of never mention them again, delete them from my mind. A book I just read recently that is not one of those books, is Seth Godin's new book, The Practice. If you do not know, Chris, start over. You didn't miss much. It's been like 12 minutes. You can like quickly go back and watch the replay. I promise it'll be fast. This is why we need a podcast, see? Because Chris was late. And then he's like, what happened? Okay. Just putting that as like a pin. The Practice by Seth Godin. If you don't know who Seth Godin is, he's an amazing sort of thinker, brander, marketer. He has a lot of hyphens, like he's a lot of different things. He's a New York Times bestselling author. I think someone told me he did a TED Talk. I've never seen that, so I actually don't know if that's correct. I don't think he's done a TED Talk, but someone did tell me that recently. But Seth Godin is amazing. Subscribe to his blog. I also think if you work in marketing or sales or branding or anything in that communications field, you should also subscribe and read some of Seth's other books. But he has a new book out. It's called The Practice. And I think no matter what industry you work in, what career you have, whether you're a student, whether you're at your job, whether you're 21 years old, whether you're 71 years old, this book will hit home for you. And to just kind of give you an overview or a cheat sheet of the book and why I love it so much. And Kelly's like, I love Seth. I'm like, me too. Why I love it so much is he talks about how we have gotten so performance driven with the outcome. It's not just I'm going to learn about something. It's like, well, how are you going to make money? And where's the hustle? What's the profitability? And it's like, well, no, I kind of like doing this. I want to paint for the sake of painting, not to paint, to turn it into a side hustle, to sell my work, to be the next Andy Warhol. That sort of vibe. And he calls it The Practice. And it's about showing up and doing what's best for you and what you're kind of here on earth to serve and give to other people. Give up that work regardless of the outcome or the review or what people think or what the ratings are. And I thought it was really interesting because he talks about it as a way also to change your story. And this example that he gives really resonated with me, but you could use a lot of different examples of it. And he said, if you want to be a good writer, or you want to call yourself a writer, but you don't actually write every day and maybe you're not that good at it. So you're like, I don't know, can I even call myself a writer? He talks about creating a practice of writing, whether that's waking up every day and writing 2 sentences or 1 paragraph or 750 words is another popular one. And if you do that day after day, you continually show up to that practice and a week goes by and a month goes by and 2 months go by, at some point, you are a writer. You're the story you had told yourself of I am a writer and let me commit to this practice actually comes true. Exactly what Jeff just said, like the journey is the joy. That's really what you take away from this book. And he had this quote, and I wrote it down, so I'll read it verbatim because I don't want to mess it up. I think it's brilliant. It's easier to love what you do than to do what you love. It's one of those you have to kind of read 5 or 6 times, but it's easier to love what you do than do what you love. So really kind of creating that practice. And so I thought as we go into the new year, as maybe you think about things that you enjoy doing or like doing, it could be a good book for you to read. I will also offer a cheat code. So I know some people are like, Kim, the holidays are crazy, or I have kids at home, or, it's just too much. I can't handle it. I can't read another book, or I'm already, 5 books behind in the reading I have to do. I'm here for you. If you don't have time to read the book, I still think you have time to read the book, but if you don't, here's a cheat. Seth was recently on a podcast with Tom Bilyeu. It's his podcast called Impact Theory. It's probably like a 45, 50-minute episode, but it's one of the stronger interviews I've heard with Seth, and I've listened to quite a few, but it's one of the stronger ones where he really digs into the book and the core principles. So if you don't have time, or if you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to go for a walk later, or I'm going to go work out later, or I need to do the laundry, and you're looking for, a 45-minute sort of mental mindset and thinking exercise, I would recommend that episode. You can look it up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. But the podcast is called Impact Theory. I for Impact Theory. And it's with Seth Godin. I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes ago. You can find it. It's easy to find. So yes, Jen, thank you for putting that up. I love these quotes. These are so great. And then I wanted to make sure I answered this question because I just saw it. How do you think I can, as a starting entrepreneur, find the right people to get advice from? 1, you made a great decision by coming here today because you can get advice from all the people here, many of who own their own businesses or have been entrepreneurs in previous lives. So this is a great place to get information and advice from. And I would say to actively start curating your socials, whether that's LinkedIn, whether that's Instagram, whatever, with other people who are doing what you hope to do or are already in that field. So when you look at clothing or you look at entrepreneurs, there are tons that you can follow that are creating fashion lines, that are doing interesting things. If you're looking for, I'm guessing you look younger in your picture. Am I allowed to say that? Did I just violate something on HR? I don't know. But you look younger. So I would also say, Forbes 30 under 30 list recently came out. And whether you love or hate the list, because people have differing views, they do have a retail section on there. So there's 30 entrepreneurs who are on that list, or creatives or executives that are under 30 that are doing that work. So I think that would be a really great place for you to kickstart, in addition to asking people here. And I know we will all think about it as well. Thank you, Dinesh, for bringing up the alt MBA. I've never done alt MBA. I don't know if you have or if anybody here has done it. I hear good things. I can't say I've done it. I also have never really gone in depth with somebody who has done it. So I don't know, but thank you for including the link, because if you didn't know about the alt MBA, it's basically Seth's version of an MBA. He's kind of saying, don't waste your time getting an MBA. This is the alternative, kind of like streamlined version of getting an MBA. So if anybody has taken it or knows somebody who's taken it, maybe ask a couple questions about it and like report back and let me know what you find out there, if it is a good program. I know, if I remember correctly, it's pretty expensive. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nash, but I think that it's sort of an expensive program. But your friend has done it. It's a tough program. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to maybe ask your friend a couple of questions about it and like follow up with us, because I'm super curious to know. I'd love to know what your friend's experience was. Was it worth it? Was it not? Was it beneficial? Does he still use the information he learned from it? All that sort of stuff. Because I think obviously if you're going to invest time and money, you kind of want the bang for the buck to be totally worth it. So anyways, if you have time, Seth Godin, listen to the podcast. If you don't have time, if you do have time, listen to the book. I listened to the book on Audible. I was pretty okay with it. There are some books that I don't do well on Audible with because you want to kind of highlight, but I thought it was pretty okay to listen to on Audible. So if you're an Audible person like me, maybe consider doing the Audible version as well to kind of save time on that. In addition, I wanted to throw out some other kind of things that I found recently that I like and think are cool, and maybe you will like and think are cool. The first one being, I'm going to say this, but I'm also just going to include the link because it's going to sound like I'm insane. It's a new app, and it's a new program called I know. You're like, what is she doing? It's a sound. Yes, it's So MMHMM. It's like when you're agreeing with someone and you say Anyways, it's a really cool program. I don't know. A friend recommended it to me. I haven't downloaded, but I watched kind of like the 2-minute promo video on the homepage that we just dropped the link in there that I want you to check out as well. If you do any Zoom meetings, virtual presentations, keynotes, etc. I don't know about you, but my eyeballs have such like Zoom fatigue, and the people that I continue to watch on there are so boring. I'm literally falling asleep watching a lot of this stuff. So I don't know if you're like me and you're snoozing with some of these presentations, but my friend told me about this, and it's super interactive, and it uses like algorithms and AI and all this cool stuff that, for instance, I don't have the program running right now, and I'm not even sure if it works with StreamYard, which is what we use for the back end of this. But I know it works with Zoom. So for instance, if you were to go like this, all of a sudden your thumb turns into like a big emoji. You can have like stars floating around you. I don't know, seems cool. If you do a lot of presentations or client work or something where you kind of need to keep people's attention on video, I think it could be a really interesting thing. So I don't want to say, oh my gosh, go download it. I don't even know if it costs money. Again, you can see like I literally just got told about this, went to the website, thought it was cool, and was immediately like, I think I'm going to share this out. But like, it could be horrible. Don't hold me to that. I checked it out. I thought it looked cool. I want to tell you about it. If you know anybody, I think teachers use it as well. If you know any like teachers in your life or educators, or again, anybody doing sales, but it looks like a pretty cool app. So Jen, I love this. Great. I think I love it too. I'll give it a go. Maybe you give it a go, see what you think. We'll kind of circle back on everything, but it looks pretty neat. So I wanted to throw that out to you as kind of an untested. And then I said, well, I can't throw out an untested app to everybody without a tested one as a fail safe. So I want to tell you about this app that I have been using now since February. So what I call BP, which is before pandemic and after pandemic. In the BP times, I downloaded an app called Less, Less, and it tracks how many alcoholic beverages or adult beverages you choose to imbibe over the course of a week, and then a month, and then ultimately a year. So I started using it in February, which means I am very close to coming up on 1 year of using this app. I love it. I've been recommending it to tons of friends, tons of family, especially as the holidays are here and things can get a little stressful. And maybe opening up that second bottle of wine sometimes sounds like a great idea. And I really like it. The interface is super easy to use. It's really simple. It's manual. It's not anything that tracks you. You don't have to like wear anything, but I really like it. And I like it for this reason. It does have a little bit of a gamification to it, which is super interesting. And so what it does is, you can have streaks or like little records that you set. It makes you really think to yourself, okay, if I'm going to break this streak, because you have like a little person that you want to see, it's this boat, you'll see when you download it. But if you're going to break the streak, you're like, this drink better be worth it for me to lose this drink. And if it's one of those nights that you're like, I could have a beverage, but I could not, whatever, it has definitely kept me from maybe having an unnecessary beverage because I don't want to break my streak. So definitely something that is maybe a little silly, but I found to be very helpful. So perhaps you will find it helpful as well. So again, we dropped the link in there. But if you check it out, let me know what you think. Again, DM, message me, whatever, but I'd love to know. I really like it. So I think maybe you will like it as well. In terms of how Florida is amazing. Today we had a cold front, hence my jacket. So I think it's like 55 or 60 and sunny, or 65 and sunny. It's beautiful out. That's why I was saying I'm going to capture some of the sunlight and send it out from me to you so that you can have some of the sunshine too, because it's really beautiful down here. Obviously staying inside a lot, but going outside for walks and to go to walk the beach and hang out and stuff like that. But other than that, as you know, Florida is kind of crazy with the COVID cases right now. So not really going out in terms of like places where other humans gather, but just with my immediate family, going out on walks and the beach has been really nice. So hopefully wherever you are in the world, that will also be nice weather for you to spend some time outside. Chris, don't worry. There's no friend summoning or anything with the drinking app. I don't know of that feature. I don't think you can have friends on it or anything. It's just kind of for your own well-being. So that's why another reason why I actually am honest on it, because a lot of these apps, if you're logging workouts or no sugar or whatever, you can kind of like lie, because it's almost like you don't want to tell the app the truth, which is like you did or didn't do something. This is one, I have no friends to it. I actually am very honest. Sometimes it pains me, but I am very honest with the app because I actually do want to know. So I would say it's one of those apps that I would encourage you to be honest with, but you definitely don't have to. And then Chris, this is such a good question. The biggest step or chance you took early on, I would say I probably took so many steps or chances, but the biggest step and the one that I encourage people, because I know how much it helped me, and I think it can be a game changer for a lot of people. And it's something that I wanted to bring up today. It's two things: mentors and advocates. And a lot of times people think that's the same thing, and it's not. And let me tell you why. Mentors, those can be people that know you. It can be people that don't know you. It can be people that are in your industry. It can be people that are not in your industry. It's perspective. It's other people that are helping you light the way. And I have lots of mentors. Again, I always talk about, I have mentors who know who the heck I am, and I have mentors that have never met me in their lives. And that can be because I follow Sarah Blakely from Spanx on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I feel like she's a mentor, but again, she has no idea who I am. So you can have mentors like that. And then I have mentors that I meet with on Zoom calls once a quarter and who I ask questions to about my future or a project that I'm trying to do. So there's mentors. Advocates are different. Advocates are necessary, especially if you are in corporate. And the difference between mentors and advocates are people who can directly impact your career path. So they're the ones that can vouch for you. If you are coming up on a promotion, if you are coming up for an award, if you are coming up for a pay bump, if you are coming up for an internal transfer, it's the people within that organization, and you obviously have to work to figure out who those are, who can directly have a thumbprint on either vouching for you or advocating for you or pushing for you to get something. They are the change makers. So sometimes mentors and advocates can be the same person. That's totally possible, but it is also possible for them to be completely different. So I would say the biggest advantage I think that I had is I had mentors from a very, very young age. I had a mentor probably starting in high school, and it was a habit that I just kept developing. But I have friends who are in their 40s, they've never had a mentor ever, never had it, don't know what it is, wouldn't know how to get one. And that to me, I think is a huge mistake. And I wish I could have picked them up sooner and more of them and faster. But I think mentorship is just, it's so important. It can change the game for you. So if you don't have one now, 2021 is coming up. It might be a really great time to add one mentor, hopefully several mentors, to your stratosphere, because I just think it is so, so, so important. So important. Oh my gosh. And by the way, a lot of you guys feel like mentors to me. I know Chris was asking earlier because he was like, I was late, but Chris, I'll catch you up. The first 11 minutes was me asking for your advice and your input on a podcast, on a newsletter. Like, yes, I totally agree. Like, we're all kind of each other's mentors and peoples that we can go to and talk to. And what do you think about this? And, yes to all of these things, which I think is so true. And yes to Jeff. Amen. If someone has been an advocate for you, please turn around and be an advocate for somebody else. I hate when people complain about millennials if they're not doing anything to actively change it. So to me, if you get to complain in something, you have to earn your right to complain. And if you tell me I mentor 5 millennials, then be my guest. Complain away. You have a free hall pass to complain endless amounts about millennials because you're actively trying to change the directory or the direction of that issue. So can't complain unless you're willing to roll up your sleeves and do the work. Horatio, we're all each other's mentors here. So yes, please join every Wednesday. We are all learning from each other. We are all figuring this out together. It is so fun. I mean, I don't want to speak just for me, but whether maybe Jeff or Jen or Kelly want to chime in, or, Chris, or, we have fun every week. So I will say yes on behalf of all of us, but yes, we all want to be your mentor, and we all want to come here every week and sit there and figure out how the heck we are navigating through this whole thing. So also next week, please, please, please join for Kate, because again, I think Kate is really going to help us think about what can we do less of? How can we become more efficient in our everyday work? And while she does specifically work with entrepreneurs and founders, a lot of her system frameworks can really be applied to anybody, I think, because again, even in a corporate standpoint, you're sort of a founder, or you're sort of in charge of your own, whatever it is. You're in the marketing department, you're in the sales department, you're in the HR department. You kind of are the captain of your own ship, maybe not in a traditional sense, but a little bit. So I think Kate's going to be amazing for all of us tomorrow. So I would definitely join in, because I think that's going to be super great. What was in your journey to where you are now that's your biggest? I like to say that everything is a learning opportunity, and I'm including this because I think it's absolutely hilarious. I would say everything's a learning opportunity. And listen, you have to make mistakes, because to me, if you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Because trust me, we can all be comfy. We can all be comfy and warm all day long and, do the things that make us comfortable and just be kind of comfy in our own way. And that's not going to get us anywhere. We're not going to I always tell people, if you eat cheeseburgers all day and never work out, but you want a 6-pack, newsflash, that's going to be uncomfortable. That's going to get a little dicey. You're going to have to do all the sit-ups and the push-ups and the running and the sprints, all the stuff that you don't want to do. But if you want the 6-pack, you got to do it. So I think for me, yes, I'm constantly getting on this journey of life. I'm constantly getting myself into sticky situations or things where I don't know what to do, but I love it because it means that I'm pushing myself. So I would say, I hope you cherish your mistakes, but in terms of, I've had mistakes that are expensive. I've had 5-figure mistakes. Yeah. 5-figure, oopsie doopsies in business. Those are not fun mistakes. Those are not good, but I learned, and I'll tell you what, I'll never make those mistakes again. But yes, I feel like there are definitely categories of costly mistakes, mistakes where it sucked up all my time, mistakes where I lost relationships over. Yes, mistakes are plentiful in my journey, and hopefully, which sounds weird, I am hoping for you, there are also lots of mistakes. Sounds odd to wish mistakes on other people, but you get my drift. It means that you're pushing yourself, and it means that you're getting outside of your comfort zone in a new way. And I have to put this up because it was the book that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, and we've been talking about it on Instagram in DMs. But yes, you can have lots of green lights. You just got to find them. Got to find the road, find the green lights. Again, Matthew McConaughey, if you haven't read that book, I can't say enough good things about it. So I think that's going to be really good. But, and then I just had one other recommendation that I've done recently that if you follow me on Instagram, you've been following along the story. If you don't follow me on Instagram, why aren't we friends? Please, get on there with me. But I recently adopted, it's like a family you can usually do around the holidays here in South Florida, but they have programs all over the United States where you can adopt a family for the holidays and provide Christmas or Hanukkah gifts or holiday gifts or food or experiences, maybe not experiences so much now with COVID, but in the before COVID times, experiences. And I did mine in South Florida with a program called Neighbors, and then the number 4, Neighbors for Neighbors. That is unique here to South Florida, but I had somebody DM me. I didn't have time to Google it before we got on here. So sorry. But they were saying that Boys and Girls Club might have a national sort of adoption program. I'm sorry, I'll look it up. But I recently adopted someone for the holidays. She, instead of adopting a family, which a lot of people go for the families because they have little kids and love to buy like Spider-Man things or, Disney things. I sort of went for the pendulum in the other direction and instead picked someone older and instead did not pick a family. So I picked an amazing 19-year-old woman here in South Florida who has been in and out of foster care and just needing a little bit of love this holiday season. So it was such an amazing experience for me. I was overwhelmed by the amount of love and support that as I shared that journey, I feel like I got back and then I am able to give on to her. So it's just a whole lot of love. So if you have some extra time this holiday season, I totally encourage you to look in any to sort of adopt a family or adopt a person program. I found it immensely beneficial. And again, I know we're all wrapped up in work and the end of the year and getting there and goals and bonuses and year end and taxes and but it really kind of brings you back to basics, and it really kind of brings you back to helping other people, and we're here to serve. And I think that's a great reminder in the chaos of the holiday weekend that kind of bring it back. Oh, Jen, it was Big Brothers Big Sisters. Yes. Okay. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, again, sorry, Shelby, and I don't have the link, but maybe we'll work on getting the link. But I do think they have a national program, and Jen just confirmed it. So yes. So yeah, I would just highly, highly, highly recommend that. And so the last thing I wanted to leave with that I hope we could all kind of share out with each other, because I know next week we'll have Kate and then we'll be donezo for 2020, is it's something that I ask everybody who comes and joins, but I realize that we haven't had a conversation about it, which is, what is the best gift that you've given yourself or done for yourself in the last year? And then what is the next thing that you're hoping to learn? Because as I shared out earlier with my hope for a podcast or a newsletter, I realized that maybe we all could hold each other a little accountable on that. Or if there is a good gift or an app or a book or a program or a product or whatever it is that you've gotten recently, I know I mentioned the why do they pick such a hard name? I sound ridiculous when I say it. The app and the Less app and the Seth Godin book were kind of my versions of that to you. But if you have anything back here or for the rest of us here today, books you're reading, apps you're loving, things you're doing, or things that you want to learn, please, please, please let us know. Or again, if you want to have a think on it, have a think on it. And then next week, come up with your best so that we can talk it over while Kate's here. And maybe Kate hopefully has some recommendations for us about things that she's, loving or things that she's doing or really digging into. But if you have any, I just feel like it's such a great group. And I know I say that every Wednesday, but it's because every Wednesday it continues to be true. Brendan, I am right there with you. I feel like knowing your shortcomings and admitting them and telling people is like chef's kiss. Definitely the best gift you could give yourself, and usually the best gift that you could give everybody around you too. It's just like all in all, kind of like the best thing that you could be doing. So I just wanted to end on that note, that we can, again, just kind of keep sharing and keep, I love this, Jen. I love that you invested in coaching for yourself. I also bought many online courses this year in an attempt to also better myself. Christina, hopefully you were able to join our chat with Jim. If you weren't, I would definitely go back and give that one a listen, because I totally agree. His book is amazing, and his podcast, if you're not subscribed to that, Quick Learning, is also really amazing. So that's another one that I was like, oh, so good every week. And I think it's like 15 minutes long. So it's, again, part of the quick. Everything's quick with quick branding, quick everything. So if you're not on his podcast train, definitely listen to it. Kelly, Impact the University. Okay, you have to keep us posted. Like, what mindset program has been amazing? Tell us everything. How was it? Was it worth it? All the things. Yeah, that's just a general, by the way. If anybody does any sort of courses, please let us know how they were, because there might be somebody else in this group that's also thinking about doing that course, and like your opinion on whether they should do it or not, or if it's for them at that moment in their journey, beyond important. Like, please, please, please share as much as you can, because I feel like that's just such a yes. Oh, good. You loved it. Jeff, yeah. It's also been the biggest game changer for me. So I'm definitely copying your homework on that, but it's been a huge game changer for me. I've met the most fantastic people. I've had the most amazing opportunities come because of this. And it's magic. That's why I tell people every Wednesday, it's magic. And if you like magic, join the magic show. And if you don't, probably not going to like it, but we don't want you anyway, because we're over here doing some magic. So, magic on Wednesdays, maybe that's a rebrand instead of Coffee with Kim, because I just think there is such magic that goes on here every single Wednesday with all of us helping each other every single week. I think it's so great. And it looks like Patrick also has another book recommendation. If anybody has time over the holidays, Shoe Dog. I actually have had this on my list for a while and continue to not get to it. I know, but Patrick, you just kind of pushed me a little bit. So I think that's going to get bumped up in the holiday reading list section. So thank you for that. And again, always love thoughts, always love hearing what you guys think is cool and amazing, because chances are, if you think it's cool and amazing, I will also think it's cool and amazing. So please share the things that you are doing. Dinesh, mindset coaching session. Amazing. Whoa. Okay, I had no idea you guys were taking all these courses. Let me in on the loop. Please, I know we're going to end here soon to keep it short, but wow, if And if you don't want to write it in the chat, that's fine. We'll keep it on the DL. But as you take courses, I would love to know if it was worth it, because I've definitely taken courses that were totally worth it. And I've definitely taken courses that were not so worth it. Wish I could have gotten a refund. So let's all keep the hashtag real talk around here, Okay, I want to respect your time. We've been on here for 45 minutes and I know that you have a lot to do. It's December, it's the end of the year. You're crazy, you're busy, I know. So the last thing I will say is next week, Kate, it will be our last get together of the year until we see each other again in 2021, or, we talk on Instagram and stuff. I always say like, oh, I'll see you later, but it's like, I want to see you in 5 minutes when I log on to Instagram. So, if you're not on there with me, please join. But next week, Kate, work well with Kate, give her a look. I think it's going to be amazing. If you know anybody else that you think would benefit, please send them a link. Please have them join. I know I say that, but it's because it's true. The more people we have, the more magic we have, the more magic happens. So bring them all in. It's going to be fun. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am sending so much sunshine. This is me grabbing the sunshine from Florida and putting it out to you wherever you are. I'm sending you a big cheers. I'm going to lean this way from our Florida Christmas tree household to yours. Have an amazing rest of the week. And I will see you right here, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday with Kate from Work Well from Kate. So have a great week, everybody.